It is round number 4 of the FilterTime eSpark series from virtual Martinsville Speedway. I'm Zane, the bearded one. Sans HD Motorsports again tonight. We don't know where the man, the myth, the legend, the ginger that drives, where he's hiding at. But don't worry, we still have our in-race reporter, Mr. Dohar, with us. We have a great group of interviews tonight. We'll be speaking with Element Zero, Tom Flitty, and Mr. Word Burton as we get ready to hit the track and go to the paperclip of Martinsville. You know what? I think I know where HD's at. He's probably getting some hot dogs and just forgot he had to show because HD stands for hot dogs. But let's talk about the track tonight, the race. It is the shortest track so far in the series. It's only round number 4, but last week the boys went to Daytona, the high-speed, high banks of Daytona Beach, Florida, and we saw Lucky Dog win under caution. A repeat to what we saw almost a year ago or a season ago with Track Bar winning, but this time it was the young gun Lucky. He still sits on top of the points, sitting there in first, but behind him he's got some stiff competition with Tom Flitty in second place. Word Burton sitting back in third. Element Zero in fourth. Leafs Justin rounds out the top 5 in your points. No points graphics again. We're going to blame Mr. Track Bar. He can't get on pit road and he can't do graphics. Might be a combination of things causing him issues. Big John sitting back there in 6th. Then it looks like Mr. Rose, HD's pick for the greatest driver in eSpark, sitting back in 7th. Then in-car racing, we've seen a lot of fire from that driver this year. He's back in 8th. And then Asylum is in 9th. And our in-race reporter, Tyler Dohar's rounding out the top 10 of the points here for the eSpark series, FilterTime eSpark series. And we'll talk to him as well like we do every race because he gives us the 1s and 2s from inside the car to let us know how the action's going. But, you know, while we're kind of talking about some things, we got these drivers on our minds of these top 5. You know what I want to do is I want to pull down our second place driver. Our second place driver, Mr. Tom Flitty. Tom, you got a copy. Oh, Tom left. I guess he doesn't want to race. So I guess he's qualifying and he ran off. So it's quite all right. Tom will not want to talk to us. Tom lost his opportunity. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Tom came back. Tom, why do you always run away from him when we try to have an interview? Oh, he left to get Tom. Can you hear me?
There we go. Sorry about that, Zane.
It's all right. I feel like it's a personal thing. Like you're just scared to have an interview with me and you take off and you run.
It's stage fright, man. That's what it is.
Hey, you're sitting second in points, so there shouldn't be much of a stage fright going on for you. And let's talk about you sitting in second points. So far this season, you've had a really good run. You find yourself right behind the young gun of Lucky Dog. What do you have to do to knock him off that top spot and be the leading points leader as we roll through the rest of the season?
I mean, really, Zane, at this point, it's going to take him having some bad luck. You know, he's going to need a speeding penalty on pit road or 2 or 3 even possibly. You know, he's that good. And, you know, look for him to contend again tonight for another win.
I like how you're promoting Lucky Dog when it's your interview, so he's humble at it as well. How's the car feel? What do you got, a long run, short run car for this evening?
Oh man, you know, it's tough. It's hard to find a happy medium between that long run and short run speed. So, kind of tried to do that. It's pretty loose at the end of the run, but we're gonna try to qualify up front here and just try to hang on and try to get a solid finish.
And last question: where do you think you're going to qualify? Because I know you guys are qualifying right now, or have you finished qualifying?
Right about to get into there right now. Man, I'm hoping to get a top 5 spot. If I can get a top 5, I'll be happy.
Well, good luck to you, Tom. Tom will let you hit the track. Go ahead and let the other boys know. I'll let them qualify. Once you guys are done, Dohar will let me know, and I'll speak with Element and Word. I don't want to pull them while they're actually in the middle of that qualify session and cause someone to hit a wall. But good luck to your qualify run in the race.
Alrighty, thanks, Zane. Have a good one, man.
You too. And that was Tom Flitty, our second place sitter in points right now. And while these drivers are going through the qualify session, let's actually take a look here at our track race rundown, the FilterTime information board, where we give you all the race rundowns for tonight. It is round number 4 of the FilterTime eSpark series. 4 of 16. These guys are burning through the races as quickly as possible. It's like the weeks just blend and blur by. You know, J-Mac in the chat saying, don't finish last, don't finish last, don't finish last. J-Mac, I feel like that's your mantra right now. It's 250 laps tonight here. It's about 131 miles is what these guys will be racing. Quick, hot, fast consecutive laps. It's a very small track. We're out here in Martinsville Speedway, located south of Martinsville, Virginia, out in Ridgeway, Virginia. If in case you didn't know, there's a little bit of geographical knowledge for you. Feel free to impress your wife, your friends, anyone you want. Or maybe there's a trivia night and they ask you, hey, where is Martinsville Speedway located? Now you know. We're at a 0.526 mile track. So a little longer than a half mile, but not a whole mile. So that's why they call it the Paperclip. It's one of the smallest tracks next to Bristol that we're going to look at. 12 degrees of banking in the corner. The track. So this is an interesting fact that I didn't know about until I started doing research on Martinsville. The width for the track itself is 55 feet. About 2.5 cars possibly you can get in there. We've seen some of these guys go 3 wide on the front stretch and the back stretch before. No degrees of banking and a little bit of degree to banking in the corners. And of course, we all know the last winner that we saw at Martinsville Speedway was Lucky Dog. It was the season finale only a couple months ago where he actually sealed the deal, won himself the inaugural championship for the FilterTime eSpark series. And now he's picking up where he's left off. He's won almost every race. I think he's 4 in a row at this point if you count Martinsville. He's trying to repeat here once again. We tried to talk to him, but he's just a little too big for us now. Actually, I wanted to let him focus. We've talked to him a lot. We'll probably talk to him at the end of the race, especially with how good he's been running. But those are your track facts powered by FilterTime for tonight's race. And I think the interesting part here is it is a short track. And the guys just got done with Daytona last week. One of the biggest tracks on the schedule. Now they're going to go to one of the smallest tracks on the schedule. They were using the bump draft, the draft itself, sucking up, staying in line. A lot of brake checking was the rumors in the garage from a lot of drivers. Now, there may be a little bit of retribution here. It's a short track. You can finally pay the guy back for everything he did to you at the super speedway. And you know what? Just give him a little chrome horn bump and run. And that's going to be the interesting factor of this race is it's smaller, it's compact. There's not a lot of room for errors. You got to be real consistent here because if you start racing hard, burning those tires off, like Tom talked about earlier, the car gets real loose at the end of a run, you're going to have a hard time trying to control it and race it. So these guys are going to be really patient, but also cautions breed cautions. There's not a lot of room for error like Daytona. Daytona, these guys were able to lift out of it, roll out of it, get back in the throttle, get into the draft, suck their way back up to the front. There was a lot of gaps and separations, about 5 cautions total. Tonight, leading right into our segue of over-under numbers. That's right, we're going to talk about the over-under numbers for the race. I don't have HD here with me, but I did talk to my boy Nicky Jobs. Nicky Jobs is still mad at me for our trip at Vegas. And he told me figure out my own numbers, so I did. And I'm actually going to go with based off what we saw at the beginning of the season, what we saw at Chicagoland and Daytona. I'm going to go with 3.5. 3.5 over, actually. I'm going to play very safe with my caution numbers. I'm going to say 3.5 over. And Dohar, I'm going to mute you just a little bit. I apologize. We're going to go 3.5 over because I think there is going to be a situation that if a caution comes out late in the race, these guys are going to push to the limits. We've seen it historically in the eSpark series. Late runs, late cautions bring out more cautions to where we end up finishing under a green-white checkered or finishing under yellow. Daytona was a prime example of that. Big wreck happened at the end of the race. Race finished under yellow as Lucky took the white flag with 1 to go. Tonight, though, over-under is going to be about 3 over, 3.5 over if you want to get technical about it. My picks to win, I'm actually going to maybe shock a few people here tonight. One of the drivers I'm going with because of how the strategy will play out. If the green flag drops and there is little to no cautions, I'm going to lean towards Dohar to be my race winner. Might not be putting a lot of stock into it. Some people are like, of course you're going to pick Dohar. He's the man who runs the series. But Dohar has been actually figuring out a lot of the strategy this season already. He's learned how to stretch the fuel a lot longer and a little bit further than most of the drivers on the track. My dark horse to win, I'm not going to go with Lucky because Lucky, everyone's got he is the 99% odds to win it all the time. Every week we hit the track. My dark horse actually this week is going to be Element Zero. I still think Element's got a chance to finally put that car in victory lane. That 38 machine has been fast all season. He just hasn't had the opportunity to seal the deal. Close it, signed, sealed, delivered, but I think tonight could be his night. So that's going to be my pick for the night will be Dohar. My dark horse of the race will be the one and only Element Zero in that 38 Ford Mustang. And while we're sitting here jabber jawing a little bit, chat, I want to go to you guys. Who do you think will be the race winner? Who's your dark horse? Let's even play a little, a couple of the odds. What's your over-under on cautions? Throw it in the chat. We may talk about it. We may give you a shout-out here Rock NASCAR hanging out, saying hello to everyone in the booth and best of luck to all the drivers. Hello, Rock NASCAR. And thank you. We're all going to need it because it is Martinsville. And let me see if I can't get a hold of Dohar here real quick. Dohar, you guys still qualifying? You hear me up in the booth?
We just got done, Zane.
All right, Dohar, thank you so much, my man. I'm going to ask you real quick before I talk to the other two drivers, where did you qualify for tonight? Because you are my pick to win.
I qualified 15th, so it could have been worse.
Oh, God, you didn't have a lot of confidence in that answer. So I think I may regret all my life choices of putting this money on you to win tonight. But we'll talk to you later on in the broadcast here. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get a hold of our two extra last drivers. We're actually going to talk to a driver, one that's actually been really dominant in qualifying all season long, Mr. Word Burton in that 19 Toyota Camry. Word, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome. You're doing a lot better than me. You're sitting third in the points 2 weeks in a row. You've qualified on pole. So first thing I'm going to ask you, where'd you qualify tonight for Martinsville?
Unfortunately, tonight 6 just couldn't get a clean lap, but just outside the top 5. We're looking pretty strong. I'm pretty optimistic about tonight. I think we have a really strong car. It all really depends on what happens in the long run. You know, there's going to be a mix tonight of saving a lap of fuel because we're going to be a lap shy based upon the 250 lap strategy, as well as mixing the tires. You know, there's going to be a lot of guys breaking loose off exits and corners and such tonight. So I'm really interested to see what happens. But I think we have a really strong car here for tonight.
And what kind of car do you have? A long run car or short run car?
I would say it's a long run car. I wouldn't say it's the best in the field based upon what I've seen in practice. Guys like Lucky Dog, who's starting on pole tonight, who dominated the preseason here, CGMX Rose, as well as Element XX0, really good when it comes to Martinsville. I think those are going to be the guys to watch in terms of long run car. But I think we're right around there. I think we have a 4th, 5th place car in terms of the long run setup. But it's all about track position, too. You know, if I place myself right place, right time, I can find myself in the right situation up ahead of them.
Gotcha. Word. And, man, good luck to you tonight. You're rolling off 6. You've had a great season so far. Hopefully you can seal the deal, find yourself in victory lane, and we'll talk to you later in the race if you're in that top 3 finishers.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Zane.
Hey, not a problem. And that was our third place point sitter, Mr. Word Burton. And now we're going to talk to my dark horse pick, a driver who's been dominant for most parts of the season, but like I talked about earlier, just can't seal the deal. He's found himself up front. He has a good, strong race, and then somewhere in the last half of the race, that Ford Mustang just kind of falls apart. I'm not going to blame it on the Yates engines because Yates engines are great, but it's Mr. Element Zero. Element, how you feeling tonight going to Martinsville?
Not too confident.
No, what? Why? Give us some insight. You can't leave me hanging like that.
Yeah, just I don't really have the short run speed. I got a lot better on the long run, but still fighting quite a bit loose off. But figured out the entry. I'm not too worried about losing it on entry. There's that.
Gotcha. And where'd you qualify for this evening?
10th. Don't
10th?
really care too. Well,
10th
concentrate on race.
Well, 10th is better than 15th, you know, for some drivers in this race tonight. But I want to talk real quick, briefly. What's going on with you in that 38 team? You have a strong start of the race, and it just seems like either mid-race, late in the race, something just happens and that 38 falls off. Is it just lapse of judgment, mental collapse, or is it just you're getting involved in other people's incidents and just can't find your way through traffic?
It's a mixture of all that combined. Just get caught up in and try to fight my way back. I mean, we got top 5, top 10, couple bad fuel management in Chicago. Had to fight my way back at Gateway after getting caught up in a wreck. I finally started getting, and I got caught up and fight back for. So not much you can, but.
Even with those problems, you're still sitting 4th in the points. Did you expect yourself to be sitting this high in the points this early in the season, 4 races in?
Somewhere in the top 10, not this, but definitely looking to be in the top 10. So I'll take where I'm sitting. Feeling pretty comfortable.
Hey, well, I want to say good luck for you tonight. You got a long race in front of you, 250 laps here at Martinsville. Hopefully, we'll talk to you at the end of the race. I'll let you go get settled into your car and pull those belts tights one more time.
All right, thanks, Zane.
Thank you. And that was Element Zero sitting 4th in the championship points. Now we're going to go to our in-race reporter, Mr. Tyler Dohar. Tyler, hey, buddy. Long time no speak. How you been?
Hey, man. Well, we've moved up to 13th on the starting order. A couple guys are having some wheel and connection issues. I know Rose has been having some big internet issues tonight, so he's going to start towards the rear and try to just take it easy. Same with Boehner. He's been having some wheel issues. But your invite's out here, Zane. We're getting ready because we want to get these 250 laps done before it turns to a new dawn, a new day. It's going to be a long race.
It's only 9:15 in the PM on the East Coast. We're doing just fine. And Dohar, you talked a little bit about that wheel, right? And while I'm looking for that invite here, what has been the biggest challenge for you to kind of understand and adjust to going from a controller, which you're a great controller racer, to now being a wheel driver?
I mean, the biggest thing is getting used to how, really kind of trying to tune in how I need the settings to be on the wheel. I'm usually pretty strict on what I want. I want a lot of turn in and then minor adjustments throughout to kind of fix me as I'm going throughout the turn. That's kind of been the biggest adjustment to figure out. So actually, it's been taking practices at Dover this week to kind of get me where I really feel confident on the wheel. At a short track like Martinsville, it's a big struggle because it's a lot of turn in, and then you got to keep the wheel turning and try not to get on the gas too soon and plow the wall. But we'll see what happens. We're just going to try to not ruffle up any fenders tonight and just have a clean race out there.
Hey, man. Well, good luck to you tonight. I'll let you get focused. I'm going to go ahead and mute your mic, or actually just mute yourself. If you want me to mute you, how would you like to do this tonight?
I'll mute myself, and
All
then when you
right.
need me, just scream.
I'll just Dohar! I always need you, buddy. I'm in the booth by myself tonight here at Martinsville with no hot dogs. And I assume as well, Big John will be our in-car camera to give me some perspective of the race. Is he streaming? Oh, he already muted himself. As we're loading into the lobby, Dohar has already gotten ready to get focused. And we're going to keep an eye out, though, because most weeks what we have is drivers who actually will race their in-car perspective to give us a bird's eye view of what they're going through. It helps me understand kind of what they're dealing with, how they're dealing with it. But as we see, the drivers are ready, the teams are ready, and we are green flag racing here at Martinsville. And already, look at that, the 13 of Lucky Dog, wasting no time trying to create a gap of separation. Behind him, though, there's that 19 of Word Burton, sneaking in, making his way around the 43, and now they're starting to single file out, and it looks like a caution is already out on lap 1. Couldn't even get a whole lap before the yellow fell. We'll have to see if we can't find out what occurred there and try to get this race cleaned up a little bit. And maybe Dohar can give us a perspective. He was a little deeper in the pack. Did you kind of hear or see what happened there, Dohar?
Yeah, the 42, again, he was trying to drop to the back, and connection issues literally launched him into the field. He was just launched into the field. So, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Dohar. You have a good one. We'll talk to you again later.
Thanks, sir.
And there it was. The 42 got launched into the field. A little bit of rubber banding here in the virtual world of racing. It's not like real racing where you can just hold on and hope that you have a clean, steady start. Sometimes you got to battle the latency. And right now, the drivers are ready once again. We'll rack them up. Try time number 2. There we are, green flag racing at Martinsville. Word and Lucky Dog battling side by side for the lead. Behind them, the 26 and the 43 stacks it up, but Lucky Dog's going to clear them. Word Burton now getting pressure from the 43, side by side, 2 by 2 behind the 13 as they come off of turn 4. Down into turn 2, off of turn 2, down the backstretch. We'll see if we can't look off the rear deck lid of this car here. There it is, looking off the rear deck lid of the 13 of Lucky Dog, who's been strong all season, picking up where he left off at the season finale in Martinsville a couple of months ago, leading this race. But look at him. The 43 clears the 19. The 19 and the 26 are door-to-door, side-by-side. Let's see if we can't get our cameras on that action here. There's the 43. There's the 19 of Word, battling with the 26, that beard oil car. And everyone always says, I need some beard oil, but I'm not quite positive about that. I think it'll look fine without it. But now, or 62, sorry. And now everybody's starting to get stretched out. Oh, Word gives a shot to the 62. coming off the corner. Behind him, though, right in front of Element, the 38 car you see right there in 5th. Behind him, the 32 as well. Word, though, putting the pressure on the 62. Not a lot of wiggle room, not a lot of room for mistakes here tonight. So we watch this battle start to heat up. There's Element now, sneaking up to the bumper of the 19, trying to make that bottom groove work. Can't quite get to him now as they come down the backstretch into the corner, though. It's still the 26, the 19, the 38. These are your top 3, or top 4 to 5, 3 to 5, as the 43 and the 13 are in their own area codes, but this is the battle to watch on the track. The 62 of Asylum being run down by the 19 of Word. Behind him, the 38 of Element Zero. And there's the 32 of Little Snack. Little Snack's an eNASCAR Heat Pro League driver. He's working on the bumper. He's trying to make his way. And it looks like everyone's kind of settled down a little bit here. No one's racing really hard. Everyone's getting into that rhythm. Let's see if we can't move back up to the front real quick. Take a look at our leader. And look at Lucky. About to start running into the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Not the Austin Dillon, but a Austin Dillon in that 3 machine. A little bit of a driver swap tonight from what Dohar told me. He told me before pre-race that it looks like tonight that Scott Hall has moved to the 36 and Austin Dillon is in the 3. And I actually had to ask him, I was like, is it the Austin Dillon? He's like, no, what are you, a nerd? And I'm like, of course I am. It's Kobayashi Maru. I can't play the game. I just have to lose the game. It's the only way to win. And look, and here goes Lucky, now working on the 3 of Austin Dillon. He's going to put him a lap down. Austin clears, gives him the room. He's going to fall back. And there's the 43 coming into your camera now. That's the gap between first and second place. As we back the cars back up here a little bit, take a look. Still no change between the 62, the 19, the 38, and the 32. Running nose to tail. This is your battle for third place between these 4 cars. Word now gets a nose to the inside. He's going to push the 62 of Asylum out of the way a little bit. Element's going to pounce like a cheetah in the Sahara. He's going to try to make his move. Still in front of him, the 62 and the 19. Words has to lift. The 62 of Asylum gets into the door, but they're still side by side as they go through the corner. But Asylum better make a move quick because he's leaving that open for the 38 of Element. Now Element's looking to make a pass. Off the rear decklet of the 19 of Word Burton, back at the 62 of Asylum and the 38 of Element, battling it out. Here comes the 32 of Little Snack. He's going to make a move to the inside. He can't quite get there. Now he is side by side for 5th. A little bit of a door rub. We saw it. Little Snack all the way down to the inside retaining wall, but they're still battling it out as we look off the rear decklet of the 19 Word Burton. And as you see my cursor, it's because I have graphics and overlays running. And speaking of overlays, I want to remind you that we are here at Martinsville Speedway. Zane the Bearded One, Sans HD Motorsports, which I probably put a big X through that next week just in case he doesn't show up. But we are racing here at Martinsville, 250 laps at the paperclip, and we've only had 1 caution so far, as still Asylum is having trouble back there. Now there goes Word, working on the 3 car. Let's take a look, see if we can't bounce through the field here a little bit. There's the gap. Still no one near Lucky in his own zip code and area code. There's the 62 of Asylum. He had some trouble earlier. He's now back in 5th, trying to run down the 32. This could give him a shot as the 32 and the 38 work on the rear bumper of the 3 car of Austin Dillon, who's got heavy front end damage. We talked to a few drivers in the pre-race. They talked about once these cars go on a long green flag run, they start to get a little loosey-goosey in the rear end. The question becomes, when does that happen? When do you have to start worrying about those rear ends sliding out from under you? Bouncing through the field here a little bit. Still no one able to touch the 13 of Lucky Dog. The inaugural FilterTime eSpark Series champion. picking up where he left off a few months ago, leading this race in dominant fashion. Here's the 43, though, the 43 of Tom Flitty. He's your second place point sitter right now as we go into Martinsville, and he's doing pretty well for himself. The 36, though, dives it down low. That's not Austin Dillon, I'm sorry. That's going to be Scott Hall. Driver swaps, and the driver list hasn't been updated, so I got to remember that in my head. Let me make a mental note. Behind him, though, is still the 19 of Word. Word now starting to make a little bit of ground on the 43. Is it enough, though, to catch him before the first round of green flag pit stops? Yay. My in-race reporter camera is now live. I can see some information on the track here, and it looks like Big John is about sitting in 12th right now, which is great to know. We'll get a lap rundown for the fans at home. 224 laps remaining. We've gone 26 laps, one caution so far, but the laps are starting to tick down here at Martinsville. Word now putting another car a lap down. He's still trying to run down the 43, but he's got clean air in front of him. All he's got now is his sights set on that 43. As we look off the front end, there's the gap between the 43 of Tom and the 19 of Word. They dive into the corner. Word rolling very well through the middle of the corner off. Down the backstretch, trying to still close that gap, but he can't quite get there. But there's a lot of traffic. You see it. The cars in the back of the field, bumper to bumper, 2 wide, all over the place. A little 3 wide action in front of them as they hit the line. This might help Word run down this second place car. Off of turn 2, down the backstretch once again, we see Word creeping up into the rearview mirror of the 43. This is not what Tom wants to see. You know he's beating and banging on his steering wheel like a driver stuck on the 405 on midday traffic or 5 o'clock traffic, depending on how LA traffic is. I hear it's very light at this moment as the cars that are going a lap down gives them the room. But take a look at this. Word now trying to run him down again. The 66 is going to lift and get out of the way, a little wobbly off the corner of exit of 4. But now that's about a 2-car length gap between the 43 and the 19. Word throws that 19 Toyota Camry deep into turn 2, rolls it off like a champ, still reeling in that second place car of Tom. They go into the corner once more. Tom now got the pressure from the 19. Now it's a 2-car battle for second place. The 66 a lap down. Tank slaps the outside wall, but I hear it. Don-up, don-up, bon-up, bon-up. The Jaws theme is kicked in as that Toyota Camry is in striking distance of that 43. Now Tom just has to hold on. He's got to stay smooth. Word now looks to the inside, can't quite make it work. He's going to fall back in line behind the 43. It's a 2-car battle for second place. This is the action and the battle on the track as the 19 and the 43 joust back and forth. One gets a little bit of room. The other one closes back in. Off of turn 2, back down the backstretch. Look at him. Word trying to close the gap, only a car length back as we saw a car get squirrely coming off of turn 2 once again. You got to wonder, what's the tires looking like for these drivers? This is where the pressure is going to start mounting because Word wants to keep on this rhythm. He knows he can run down the 43. He just has to be smooth. Overdrove turn 2. Lost a lot of gaps. And people don't understand not to text me during the broadcast. Sorry about that, folks. Please turn your cell phones off. Don't text and drive. A message from Safe Driving. And Word, we're watching the action for the second place still. Word Burton trying to run down the 43. This is the action right here. The 19 knows he's faster. He just has to stay consistent. Can he run down the 43? That has been the question for the past 6-7 laps at this moment. He had a shot. He was in striking distance, overdrove turn 2, and now he's trying to reel him back in like he's a swordfish on the coast of Florida. As we bounce through the field here, let's take a look at our leader. See how Lucky Dog is doing. He's still bobbing and weaving, working his way through traffic. We see he put the 43 of Aviator down a lap. Now he's working on the 52 of In-Car Racing, who's had a strong season, but he's about to go a lap down here at Martinsville. Oh, no, it looks like Tyler Dohar just spun in front of the 17 of Big John. I don't know if that's going to bring a caution out. We'll have to wait and see. It was a hard hit. And the caution is out here once again. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't talk to the 88. 88 of Tyler Dohar, you got a copy.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I got way loose off turn 4, and as I was correcting it, I got along the inside wall and was just kind of riding it, and it shot me like 90 degrees sideways into oncoming traffic.
Going down pit road here, how much damage do you have?
A lot. I almost want to park the race car. I feel like a hazard. I'm going to take the right rear tire pressure and slam it down to the floor.
Well, good luck to you, man. We'll check in with you later. You know the booth door is open if you want to hang out. But that's caution number 2 at lap 212 here at Martinsville. We're about to go green flag racing once again as the drivers are getting ready. But it's a change of position. Word Burton now makes a little bit of trickery on pit road. He's going to lead us to the green flag as it's out and we're racing again at Martinsville. But Lucky Dog powers on the outside. Ooh, the 43 just door checks the 19. You know Tom's going to get a little bit of retribution from the 19 of Word. If I was him, I would remind him, hey man, I was there. I don't like that very much. But as we look back off the 13 of Lucky Dog in that Geico Camaro, we see the battle for second, 2 by 2. Again, Word putting the pressure on the 43 of Tom. We've seen it a few times. He's been faster. Question is, can he close the gap? Here we see the 43 of Tom, the 19 of Word Burton, the 32 of Little Snack, and everyone is starting to single file out from second all the way back to about 20th as these laps are winding down here in this first segment.
Dude, I've never felt like more of a weapon. Oh.
And I hear, and we heard over the radio right there from Tyler Dohar. He said, man, I don't feel like any more than a weapon. So right there, another caution is out. And Dohar feeling a little weaponry as I mute him in Discord so he can curse himself quietly. While we take this commercial break here under the third caution flag here at Martinsville.
Hi, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. As busy as I am, I'm all the time forgetting to change my air filters. And that can drive up my energy bill, and it can wreck my HVAC system. But now I have FilterTime, a box of brand new filters that get shipped right to my front door automatically, reminding me to change them. It's the same price as the store, there's no contract, no fees, and shipping is always free. So give yourself one less thing to worry about. And go to FilterTime.com today.
And we are back here at Martinsville Speedway, south of Martinsville, Virginia, and Ridgeway, Virginia. Zane the Bearded One here with the FilterTime eSpark Series. And once again, Lucky Dog is going to lead us to green with the 43 on his outside. Going into turn 1. Look at that side by side, 2 by 2, 6 rows deep. No one's giving an inch. Everyone's trying to take a mile. And you saw last time on that restart, the 43 gave a shot. Now he's putting pressure on Lucky Dog, trying to power on the outside. He's got to lift a little, can't quite close the gap. He's going to fall back in line, and he's right there, right on the bumper of the 13. That Geico better hope he's got good insurance. Wait, he does. He's got the Geico with him. That Gecko working and riding as they try to hold off the hard-charging 43 in that blue Emu. Off the rear deck lid of the 13, looking back at the 43 of Tom. Behind him, the 19 of Word Burton, the 32 of Little Snack. That's going to round out your top 4 as we dive into turn 3. Through turn 3, Little Snack looks to the outside. We can see it in the rear view here, but no one still able to catch Lucky. He's been smooth and consistent. As HD Motorsports has said all season long, this year and last year, a focused Lucky Dog is a deadly Lucky Dog, and he is doing that. Look at the gap of separation he's creating. Here in the corner, though, the 43 of Tom is able to close the gap just a little bit. Not enough, though. But on the front stretch, it's like Lucky is shot out of a cannon and just leaves the 43 standing still. Bounce through the field here a little bit. Let's see if we can't find this action between the 19, the 32, and I think that's going to be the 38 of Element Zero. No, that's the 17, I think. No, it is. Let's see if we can't get a number. Looking down. That is a 38 of Element Zero. My dark horse to win tonight He's got a strong car rounding out the top 5, but he's got pressure from behind. But we watch the 19 now starting to reel in the 43. He did this earlier before those 2 caution flags came out. Can he run down the 43 at Tom Tom? Into the corner, the 32 reeling in the 19, the 38 reeling in the 32, but everyone is trying to chase Lucky Dog. Off exit, there's the 32 of Little Snack sneaking there. He's right in striking distance. He can dive bomb him going into 1, but he's not going to do it. He's going to stay smooth and save those tires. Off of turn 2, down the backstretch. It's still the 13, the 43, the 19, the 32, and the 38 to round up the top 5. And we'll see if we can't get a shot. Oh, and there goes Little Snack. He's going to look to the inside. The 52 is that car sitting back in 6th place. He's going to try to make a move on Element. But Word is in a vicarious situation right now because he's stuck on the outside. He's got to get to that bottom groove. If he leaves that door open, he's going to keep falling back like a rock in the Lakahatchee as him and Element are now battling side by side through the corners. And Element's going to clear him with a slide job. Can't quite slam the door. But still, the 52 of in-car racing, he was a lap down just a few laps ago, or going a lap down. He's now racing for position. We're trying to hold off. Now he's getting pressure from the 4 of J-Mac attack. There's the 62 of Asylum. We saw Asylum earlier in that first stint, really strong, and something may be wrong with Word Burton. He is stuck on that outside. He just can't get the run like he was earlier in the race. Now he's drag racing with J-Mac to turn 3, and they almost touch. They almost collect as they come off of turn 4. J-Mac is going to get the run. He clear him, though? It's a drag race down the front stretch. Word in no man's land still, just getting passed by everybody. He's been passed by 5 cars at this point. And I hear the horses lifting. It sounds like another caution has hit the track here. Caution is out once again here at Martinsville. 190 laps remaining of the 250. The laps are clicking down. When these drivers hit the track once again, they'll come back with about 187, 88 laps to go, in my opinion. We'll have to wait to see from our in-camera race reporter where these drivers stack up and how many laps we have left. We heard Tyler Dohar earlier talk about him feeling like a weapon. We haven't seen much of him. He was my pick to win. He qualified 13th, but now he's sitting deep in the field trying to work his way through, sitting about 21st at this moment, a lap down. 4 fresh tires, 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods, a full tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel. The drivers are ready. The crowd is ready. The fans in chat are ready as the green flag drops once again as Lucky Dog leads them in the turn 1. Through turn 1, the 32 and the 38 of Element get a little racy. The 43 of Tom Tom, again, trying to run down the 13. He showed a spark. He almost had him. Oh, the 4 of J-Mac gets into the 52, sends him up the track. They're 3 wide off of 4. And look at this calamity back here. Look at, oh, the 34. The 34 finesse to the outside wall. He's got heavy damage. Don't know if that's going to bring a caution out. We'll have to wait and see as it looks like they're still racing up front. No yellow flag yet. The track is clear and the drivers are still racing. Here comes Big John now working on the bumper of the 19. Big John, one of our in-race reporters. He's had a good run so far. He's sitting back in 8th. Ward Burton back in 7th, trying to get up and around, and behind him you see the 2. That's going to be the Stout Whiskey 2 in that Miller Lite Ford Mustang, trying to make some pressures and make some moves. But Ward Burton now trying to pick up the ground and make up the spaces he lost on the track earlier before that yellow came out. We'll have to see if we can't get some insight from what happened to that 19. As we go back up front, we still see the gap between the 43 and the 13, about 8 car lengths, as Lucky comes off of turn 4 down the turn 2 down the backstretch. Bounce it back through the field here. This is probably a good fight for position. The 4 and the 19 battling it out side by side off of turn 4 down the front stretch. There's Big John like a wounded gazelle waiting for these drivers to just mess up so he can move back up. He's had a great run so far. He started a little deep in the pack, but now he's found his way up to 6th, trying to run down the 19 of Ward Burton to make up some ground. Sorry, he's in 7th. Ward Burton is in 6th. And the 4 of J-Mac all in the outside groove in no man's land here at Martinsville. He's got to put that 4 back on the inside groove. He's got the gap. He's got the space. But he's riding a different line here. Let's see if we can't go look at J-Mac a little bit on the track, because he's got an interesting entry on the corners. Let's see if we can't find him. There he is, J-Mac. Let's ride on. Oh, yep, there we go. No caution out, I don't think. Nope, they're still green. But let's watch J-Mac as he races here. Let's go on board with that 4 and kind of watch how he's racing this track right now. There you see the 17 of Big John in front of him. That's going to be the 62. No, the 19. No, that is the 62. Oh, and J-Mac gives a shot to the 17. We just caught that. A bumper. The chrome horn given to Big John by the 4 of J-Mac. There's got to be retribution. You know Big John isn't going to like that or appreciate it one bit. As we look down from the FilterTime blimp cam, J-Mac running like he's a convict in GTA Online, trying to get away from the cars behind him. So we bounce through the field here. Let's see if we can't find Big John. There's the 17 of Big John. He's looking for retribution. I think I saw expletive deleted middle finger out the window there for a second, just shooting it to the 4 car. He was not happy with that shot. It moved him all the way up the racetrack, and now he's trying to hold on. Oh no, big wreck. Big wreck on the backstretch. See if we can't find a camera shot back there. No, we don't have a shot on it. Another car to the inside, retaining wall right there in front of the leaders. That was the 43 of TomTom, one of our race leaders. Looks like everyone's able to clear him. The 41's trying to get on the pit road to get out of the racing groove, but we are still green flag racing here at Martinsville. Let's take a look, see how many laps we have left to go here at the paperclip. The 36 of Austin, 173, fans. 173 left in the race. The 36 of Scott Hall going a lap down again, getting passed by the 32 of Little Snack, the 38 of Element. But there's your second place sitter. That's the 43 of TomTom. A lot of ground to make up on our race leader of Lucky Dog, picking up, like I've been saying all race long, where he left off just a couple months ago at the season finale for the inaugural season of the FilterTime eSpark series. He walked away here a champion. He's got 4 wins in a row if you count that last race. He's won the first 3, and now he's dominating here at Martinsville once again. This kid is on a mission to sweep the entire series. And here we see Lucky Dog. We've talked about him all night, the race leader, trying to work on the 00 to get around him. That's going to be Freddie in that 00 machine right there. And, ooh, Freddie giving a little squeeze, a little bit of pressure, going, no, I need to keep on this lead lap. Just don't pass me yet, Lucky. Just let me hold up here just a little bit longer. And Lucky saying, I got to go. You need to move, with a little shot of a chrome horn. Now Lucky looks to the inside to get around the 00 who's about to go a lap down. But Freddie doesn't want to give up that position. Freddie is holding strong. He's racing him for all it's worth, like he owes him money, but he finally is going to clear the 00. The 13 of Lucky is. Oh, Big John sideways off the exit. Let's take a look here. The 43 got a little sideways. That's going to let the 32 of Little Snack creep up into his rear view. Now we got a 3-car battle for second place. The 43, the 32, and the 38 nose to tail as they come off the corner, going down the front stretch. Now TomTom's got pressure. He's got to look in his rearview mirror. Keep an eye. There we go. The 38 of Element Zero gets around the 32 of Little Snack. But the Little Snack needs to hold on tight because there's Word Burton in the 19 behind him now. Now we have a 4-car battle for second place. And this is the action on the track, the battle for position of the night. The 43 of TomTom takes him through the corner, off exit, single file, all the way back around. Ooh, the 38 almost tank slaps the outside wall, keeps it going straight, and now he's starting to reel in the 43. We've seen this a few times on these green flag runs. The 43 starts to just slow up his momentum. Drivers are able to start to run him down like Element is right now. That Ford Mustang looking strong. He is my dark horse pick of the night to win the race. And down the front stretch into turn 1, is he going to be able to close the gap even more to get the run going into 3? Can't quite do it. Back behind him, the 52. He's going to make a pass on the 32. Move him up a spot, the 32 back a spot. But look at the lap traffic. There's Dohar with that bent-in front end. He had issues earlier. There's the 00. We know he doesn't want to let people pass him by nicely. And the 43 of TomTom working the bumper of the 00, saying, hey, man, beep, beep, I need you to move out of my way. But 38 of Element stuck to the outside. The 43 of TomTom looks to the inside. He's trying to battle with the lap down car of Freddie to get around to make some space between the 52 and the 38. Down into turn 3 we go. TomTom stuck to the outside, the 52. That's going to be, once again, of in-car racing. He's going to clear him. We'll have to take a look to see if that's for position. I think it might be. But put lap 88 in the book. 89 is being written right now as they come down the backstretch. And Element is now trying to put the pressure on the 43. And something seems to be wrong with TomTom. He's changed his entry. He's now middle grooving it through the corners instead of right there by the rumble strips, right there by the apron. He's got to give a little bit more. He's got to lift just a little bit harder. Maybe the rear end is starting to slide out from under him. We talked to some drivers in pre-race. They talked about it and said, hey, man, long green flag run. These cars are going to get really loose off the exit, and we're starting to see that happen right now. The 38 is sucked up to the bumper of the 43 of TomTom. TomTom's got nothing but a Ford Mustang in his rearview mirror, and there he goes. TomTom now diving it down to the inside. Element staying right in his tracks, right there on his bumper. He's just waiting for that Camaro to make a mistake. TomTom walked into this weekend the second place point sitter of the eSpark series, and now he's got a hard charge in 38 right behind him. As always, we want to thank you in chat, the fans, for hanging out with us here on twitch.tv for the FilterTime eSpark series. We see you in there chatting. I want to give a hello to Mr. Harvick 27 or NASCAR 2017. Harvick, how's it going, buddy? There's a guy in here named Rod God. How's it going, Rod God? As always, StreamJar, keeping it hot, keeping it hip. We got Trav 8200 hanging out. Rock NASCAR from earlier. You guys are awesome. Jimbo Franklin, giving a little bit of a follow love. We appreciate that as we watch this battle between the 43 and the 38. TomTom and Element both battling it out for position here. And there goes Element now looking to the inside. Can he get the run off the corner, down the backstretch into turn 3? Is going to be side by side. Element's got the position off the exit of corner number 4. Can he clear him? Another drag race down the front stretch as they go into turn 1. While these two have been battling this Camaro and this Mustang, that's let the lone Toyota Camry of the 19 of Ward Burton sneak into place. There's the crossover. The crossover. Can't quite do it, though. The 43 did it. He looked for it. He's got a bumper there off the exit of 4. Element now trying to run away from the 43, but now the 43's got nothing but Bass Pro Tracker Toyota Camry in his rearview mirror as Ward Burton looks to the inside, and ooh, there goes TomTom way out of the racing groove. He's going to fall back. A little bit of a small slide job by the 19 to close that door. And there we see the 13 of Lucky. Just now trying to put Dohar in the 88 a lap down, about 2 car lengths back. Dohar is going to go all the way to the outside retaining wall, give that spot to Lucky. As we come back here, we see this battle for about 3rd place. Actually, this is going to be the battle for 2nd. The 52 is a lap down from what I can take here looking at my charts. I don't think he is on the lead lap right now. So that moves the 38 of Element to 2nd, the 19 of Word to 3rd, the 43 of TomTom to 4th, and Little Snack back there in the 32 is going to round out your top 5. So we bounce to the field here. Let's take a look, see if we can't find want the 38 of Element. There's the 38 of Element. Let's take a look off the rear deck lid of the 38. You see that Toyota Camry, not the crunched up, crumpled front end of that Interstate Batteries 18. That's going to be Leafs Justin. He's going to get a little bit of a shove by the 19 and clear him out of the way. That's who Element is trying to run from, the 19 of Ward Burton, trying to get as much room as he can away from that front end. We've seen a few guys give the chrome horn, the little shove and move, and we're seeing that happen to a couple of lap cars here tonight as well. The 36 is going to get out of the way. Scott Hall is going to move and clear, let the 19 go. But look, there's Tyler Dohar once again. He's having a rough night in that 88. He's given a lot of room to the 38 of Element. And Dohar was my pick to win tonight. I thought he had the strategy down, but now he's just holding on for dear life. So we try to bounce through the field here a little bit. I saw some action heating up. Let's see if we can't find it. There it is right here, the 19, the 43. They're at it once again. This is going to be for third place right here. The 19 getting pressure from the 43 of Tom Tom. Look at them fan out back there as they're almost 3 wide in certain areas of the track. The 19 off the exit of the corner. Tom Tom now starting to make a hard charge. Maybe he was trying to cool those tires off, just, catch his composure, get back in his rhythm, because now he's running down the 19, reeling him in slowly but surely. Ward Burton's got to keep an eye on his rear view mirror because he's got that Camaro hard charging on that Camry. $144 laps remaining in this race. And I think we're getting word right now the 88 of Tyler Dohar has pulled that Camaro back behind the wall. Call it a day for Mr. Doharian Snowcat. And I think he's actually, what are you doing in my booth? What are you doing here?
I'm gonna join you in the booth, Zane.
There's
again, invite back to the race to watch.
Well, I just want to let you know, Dohar, there is a tie requirement, so I brought a whole box of clip-on ties in case any drivers ever needed them. So just clip the tie onto your fire suit, and you'll be fine. And we're joined by special guest JRM Tyler Dohar, the driver of the 88. Right, it's the 88 in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League.
Yes.
I'm trying to get you to brand your car here, but way to go!
Well, of course the Good Humor Chevrolet, but man, this car today was the worst I've ever driven. My own fault. Just wasn't right on the setup. I think we might have loaded in on the wrong setup. Might have loaded in on a preset. It was just absolutely terrible. It was all over the place, and we actually had a car flip on top of our hood, and we were running around with 65 engine damage there. And I didn't want to pit and take the, 30-second repair time. So I was just kind of logging laps, and it still got loose somehow. Driving, 2 seconds off the pace, still got loose, and I almost ended the 62's day. And that's when I said, it's been enough. I think we can just put this horse to bed for this race.
Well, that horse is going to be tucked in with a blanket. It's Snuggy. I guess that's what a horse would call its teddy bear. What kind of stuffed animal would a horse have? As we watch our race leader, Lucky Dog, bring that 13 Geico machine down pit road, he's going to give up that lead finally to get 4 fresh tires and a full can of virtual Sunoco race fuel. Now the green flag stops are starting. While these green flag starts are starting to happen and Dohar is getting set up, putting on a clip-on tie, let's take a quick word from our sponsors, the great people over at FilterTime.
Hi, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. As busy as I am, I'm all the time forgetting to change my air filters. And that can drive up my energy bill, and it can wreck my HVAC system. But now I have FilterTime, a box of brand new filters that get shipped right to my front door automatically, reminding me to change them. It's the same price as the store, there's no contract, no fees, and shipping is always free. So give yourself one less thing to worry about. And go to FilterTime.com.
And we are back here at Martinsville Speedway. Zane the Bearded One without my partner in crime, HD Motorsports. But like we were talking about before that commercial break, we're joined by one of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League drivers and admin and owner of the FilterTime eSpark series here on the Xbox platform, Mr. Tyler Dohar. or as we like to call him, the Doharian Snowcat, as we're running down the laps here at Martinsville. And Dohar, I know you're waiting to get in the race, but let's talk about what you saw out there on the track a little bit. There was a couple of guys who were giving the chrome horns, a few bump and runs, a little bit of aggressive driving out there tonight. Is it just how the racing was built as we watch the 32 go down pit road at this moment?
I mean, it's a product of the racing here at Martinsville, no matter what. I'm hoping, yep, there's my invite, so I'll be in here shortly. But it's kind of a product of the track and the different ways you could drive it. A lot of guys may charge the center of the turn, try to get you on the front half of the turn. A lot of guys might ease it in on the front half of the turn and try to get you on the back half once you're back in the throttle. So that's really the toughest part of this track is when you get, this many guys, 30 plus guys out here on the racetrack together. They're going to, not everybody drives the same. So that's kind of what you're seeing. There hasn't been any aggression. Any of the cautions have really been just either lag on the first caution or guys just getting loose. But I'm in the booth here, Zane, so I'm excited to kind of just put the tie on and have the sport coat on and just kind of get to call this race and watch it with you.
No, you don't have to wear a sports coat. You're fine with that. The tie looks great, though. That's a really nice green puke tie you have on. You picked the worst one in the box, but hey, at least it fits.
Right.
Well, right now, Dohar, the green flag pit stops are starting. Interesting fact here, the 95, I'm trying to find them on our cameras right now, is the race leader as the laps are starting to wind down here at Martinsville. About 141, 42 laps to go. And there he is, the 95. That's going to be Jose 720, another eNASCAR Heat Pro League driver, leading this race as we look down from the FilterTime blimp.
Yeah, I know Jose has been struggling adjusting to this new wheel. He is a wheel driver, but he's been struggling adjusting to the fan attack. He might be on his Thrustmaster today. I'm looking at how smooth he is, but with about 140 and so in change, we're looking, Zane, at about at least another 2, maybe even 3 pit stops for a lot of these guys. Going to be interesting to see kind of how the strategy unfolds here at the end, but I mean, at this point, I think Jose could even cut out a pit stop, but that 13 is just so fast, he's going to be able to make up that 2-lap delta you would normally have. So be interesting to see how the strategy kind of unfolds here, because the 95 is going to be giving up quite a bit of time as he continues on those old tires. But
yeah,
we'll just see how it takes out.
Yeah, we're seeing it right now, Dohar. He's letting the guys with fresher tires go right now. He's giving them the room, letting them go. And I think he's trying to look for pit road right now, or he may be out of gas, given that international signal from pitting. And now he's going to bring that 95 Toyota Camry down pit road to get 4 fresh tires and a full tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel. But Dohar, you're known as the strategist, the guru when it comes to fuel mileage. And I want to talk to you a little bit. What were you getting when you were doing your practices? What were you able to stretch that car out to?
Here on ×3, you could probably do up to reasonably maybe 60 laps. That's kind of where you're looking at. If you got to go any more, if you got to go into 65 or so, you're just giving up too much pace to be able to do that. You got to have a really tight race car, which means it's just naturally going to be a slower race car, slower race pace. So that's kind of the biggest thing. And kind of it's always checks and balances. You're always trying to weigh the pros and cons of doing that. If this race came down to a 65, 70 lap run, it's worth it to do it. But if you look at it from the perspective of having to go maybe 130 laps, then you got to spread out that saving over to 2 runs, where when you got a guy like Lucky Dog out there just, putting the floor or, pedal to the metal, if he's running, half a second faster than you a lap, he's going to make up that time over the course of 130 laps.
Yeah, and right now, Dohar, we're watching the 38 of Element, our race leader. He's got the pressure, though. You talked about him putting the pedal to the floor. The 13 of Lucky Dog now closing in as we look off the rear deck lid of the 38, back at that Geico Camaro, trying to run down to make a move to the race lead again.
Yeah, I think that 38, if I'm looking correctly, is your current race leader, following along with Big John, who's our best in-car cam perspective right now. He's still running in the 6th position. I believe he's still a lap down. So that battle there with Lucky Dog is to let Lucky Dog be back on the lead lap. So the 38 is going to be trying hard to stay in front of him. But don't shy out and take credit away from Element. He's another strategist who actually does it pretty well compared to other guys. Because when he chooses to do these races where he's going to stay out a lot longer than everybody, it usually means he's got a good race car and good race pace underneath him. He wouldn't do that unless he had the confidence that his race pace would work for him.
And Element's my dark horse to win. I had picked you to win the race, and you let me down, son. You let me. Oh, the two.
Oh, Stout Whiskey.
Stout Whiskey in the outside wall. Doesn't look like caution's out quite yet. We'll wait to see here. Is this now a drag race between the 13 and the 38 as they dive into the corner?
Yeah, I've been hearing over the radio the 2 and the 41 are not happy with each other. That 2 car is luckily ghosted there as we see a couple vehicles going through him. I know he and Doc have been having agreements to disagreements over some track position. Somebody's on different tires, and the 2 car Stout Whiskey has decided to call it an early evening for a lot of guys out here tonight, Zane. They'd rather just not go back out there and tick anybody off.
With 118 laps remaining in this race, new race leader moved the 13 of Lucky Dog to the lead. The 38 of Element right there on his bumper, not giving an inch, staying with him. And now Lucky's got to dodge some lap traffic in front of him. They bob and weave like a snake, and Lucky sneaks through. That's going to slow up Element, who's going to let Tom sneak to the bumper as they come off a 4.
Yeah, that was a whale of a battle there. The 13 and the 38 having to negotiate the lap traffic of the 34 of Boehner, the 41 of Doc, just trying to get out of the way, but they were side by side right in front of the leaders. Oh, as the 71 just made contact with the wall, got back in the field there, but back up to the leader. I mean, Dan's just putting it on him right now, about to put Freddie another lap down. Zay, there's just not much you could say when he's got such a dominating performance going on to kind of continue and go for the 5P.
Hey, the saying that we have here in the booth is a focused Lucky Dog is a deadly Lucky Dog, and he's been doing it since probably, I would say, the start of the playoffs last season of the first season of the FilterTime eSpark series. And Doar, let's talk about the FilterTime eSpark series here for a little bit. You know, this relationship that you have with Blake Cook and FilterTime and putting on these great races every Sunday night for one of probably the most competitive league on a Sunday night for Xbox and the Cup cars. Like, what kind of sparked you to, no pun intended, sparked you to kind of create this series and get these guys together to race it out, you know, these every Sunday night practically?
I mean, the biggest thing, Zane, is we wanted to have an environment where everybody felt that they were empowered to do whatever they wanted to do. When you're in the league, you don't want to be running, you know, under under somebody else's rules and guidelines. You kind of want to have a league for the drivers where everybody feels empowered and able to, you know, flourish under their own abilities and skill sets as wide and different as they are. So the biggest thing for us when we kind of came together, it's more of a process group. We're very much, you know, process driven. We have administration processes when it comes to approving rules, getting new drivers in the series, you know, following all that fun stuff, and now expanding into the truck series and then the Xfinity series. It gives us just a wide array of talent pool to pull from. I mean, you see Lucky going by the 48 there. The 48 is a guy who, McWinning, who started as a truck series driver, a relative unknown, just came in looking to get some good league exposure, and now we feel so confident in his abilities. We put him actually to substitute in a Cup car for Aviator, who had to miss tonight's event. So really, it's a testament to the hard work of everybody who's assisted me in getting this off the ground. Guys like J-Mac, guys like Moordog, Tedeschi, Fry Dog, Lucky Dog as well. Those guys and a plethora of others. It would take me, you know, almost a full hour to thank everybody who's involved, but it's the investment of everybody into this idea that we have of what this series and kind of this FilterTime eSpark community can be, that we've been able to flourish as we have. So really, it's not a testament to me or anything. I never want to take the credit for it. It's everybody buying into this ideology and this culture that has led to our success so far.
And you kind of hit the nail on the head there when you said the word community. This is something I've noticed with this group. It is a community. It's not a dictatorship or a communism. It's really, you know, a democracy and like-minded individuals kind of all coming together and expressing their love for racing and putting on some really good racing. I've seen the guys get a little heated after the race. You've seen a couple of virtual fights in the haulers. But at the end of the day, they hug it out. They kind of know it's just for fun, and they still take it very seriously. But it's great to see these guys grow over the past season with me and HD calling it in the booth. The racing has gotten better. Like, let's be honest, from what we saw in Season 1 with the amount of cautions that we had, right now we're sitting at about 3 cautions. I'm doing very good on my caution pick tonight, I just realized. But we've had about 3 to 4 cautions all night. 2 weeks ago, we had like 1 to 2 cautions. Daytona was Daytona with 5, but the racing has increased. The lack of cautions has really impressed us here in the booth, just to see you guys mature behind the wheel, get a better understanding of the driver's tendencies and capabilities, and in the end, still remain friends. As the guy from Ricky Bobby quotes, hey, we all learned something. We had a good time. We may have lost, but we're still friends.
Yeah. I tell you what, last season, if you got into somebody, chances are you were going to yell and scream and be mad about it for 5 or 6 days. But this season, the guys are more invested into making the racing more holistically better. They're less about individual performance and more about the collective performance. I've seen a lot of toned down aggression from guys like Big John and Track Bar and even Tedeschi, where they're more invested in the overall performance of the racing, understanding that taking a guy 3 wide doesn't just impact the 2 guys you're racing side by side; it impacts the field behind you, and how those cars, have to give and take with every move you make. So they're more invested in the ebb and flow of this. Certainly, we don't try to make it a dog and pony show by any means, but the guys have bought into that and are definitely more apropos to taking their time and being patient. And I think that's something you're seeing here at this racetrack, where it's easy to get pretty ticked off at a guy if you're riding behind slower traffic for a couple laps or so, where we're not seeing as many chrome horns as you normally would see in a NASCAR Heat 4 League lobby at a short track. So a testament to these guys. Oh, as Austin Dillon just about missed the pit road there, and Lucky Dog almost clocked right into his virtual brother in the 3 car. I tell you, he's been having to dodge and weave a couple of incidents, but he's still putting the wood to the fire here, as he's been able to pull away about a whole straightaway here from Element, now starting to make that separation. Those fresher tires Lucky Dog has over that 38 really starting to take their toll, and the pace is he's on a torrid pace right now. Zane, there's only 7 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, no, we were riding along with Big John there for a little bit. Actually, there's about 8 cars on the lead lap, I think, here. I could be wrong, but it looks like from what I can see, I can't see the top 3, but I see Little Snack, Asylum, Big John, J-Mac, and Word Burton is going to be your 4th through 8th. And I'm probably going to assume it's going to be Lucky, the 38 of Element, and then I'm probably going to take a shot in the dark and say the 95 of Jose. He might have been able to squeak out there in time, because he did come out right with those guys when they were starting to make that lap back and get that lead lap going. But Dohar, we're under 100 laps left here at Martinsville, and it has been the Lucky Dog show in that Geico Chevrolet all night, all season. Just the man's on rails. And if you think about it, just a year ago, it was the Track Bar and Lucky Dog show. It was a 37 and 13. And it seems that the pupil has succeeded the master finally. They called Track Bar the short track king. He's not here tonight. Haven't seen hide or hair of him. He's had a horrible, rough season with, adjusting to that new Fanatec wheel that you guys got for the Pro League. But Lucky just somehow taking to it like a duck to water, and just picking it up and running with it and just being dominant everywhere he goes when he unloads from the hauler.
Yeah, and it's a testament to his work ethic, too. I mean, this guy, he is an absolute robot when it comes to anything NASCAR Heat related. He's always practicing. He's usually on till the wee hours of the night, maybe even the morning. He's always tuning laps. He's basically, we always joked about Track Bar when we saw him in Charlotte for the Pro League, how he'd pop in the hotel room, saying he found a 10th or 2, as we see Lucky Dog put J-Mac, our 7th place car, lap down. So 6 cars remaining on the lead lap. J-Mac, or Lucky has kind of adopted that pedigree and is, really working at fine-tuning these cars and vehicles to get the maximum efficiency and speed out of them. He certainly works hard at it, racing in leagues like RSR, obviously the Pro League. He does a lot of other community leagues and community events, really investing in his craft and his talent, and definitely having the new equipment that we're all on together. He kind of has separated himself even further from the rest of us, if you will. So he's definitely the class of the field this year. We're all aiming for the 13, trying to figure out where we can find the speed to get back to him. But now you just kind of get to admire the dominating performance he's having against the top guys on the Xbox side of the field.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that you mentioned the Track Bar hotel room, running in, because those were probably my favorite moments, where everybody be hanging out, and then out of nowhere, Track Bar like, "Hey guys, I got a tenth of a second on restarts. And then runs off and goes to tinker in his car. And everybody's like, we're just hanging out having fun, man. And the guy really took it seriously and took it to heart. And I know we sometimes will joke about Lucky because we'll see him on NASCAR Heat till 2, 3 in the morning, working, tweaking, testing, racing. Sometimes he's racing for fun, sometimes he's racing competitively. But the man lives and breathes stock cars. And a really interesting fact about that driver, that 13 Geico machine, is he started off in F1 racing. That's where he actually began a lot of his racing, was doing F1 racing, league races, and open wheel cars. And as we watch the 13 finally make another green flag pit stop, he's going to start that slow drive down pit road to that number 1 pit stall to get 4 fresh tires and fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm checking out kind of the ticker of where we're at. He's pitting with 89 laps to go. It'll change to 88 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line here. So definitely one more pit stop on the horizon for the 13 car after this race. So it'll be interesting, Zane, is there going to be somebody who tries to go that extra 28 laps to get to kind of that 60-lap window I'm thinking about to be able to make it basically on one more stop from here to the end. We'll have to see.
And Element Zero now in that Ford Mustang, he's down pit road as well. He's going to get 4 fresh tires and fuel. And now the question becomes, as we're starting to watch everything pan out, it's the 62. The 62 of Asylum is your race leader. When is he going to bring that machine down pit road? As we look for him here on our cameras, trying to pull him up. Let's see if we can't find him. 'Cause there he is. Now he's on pit road. Let's take a look in front of, looks like Big John is still out on the track. He's back in second. Trying to take a look to see who the race leader is for him.
Looks like the 32 car.
32 of Little Snack. Let's see, I just saw Little Snack on the camera. There's Little Snack in that 32. Corvette parts, Ford Mustang. And Big John has now brought his 17 Ford Mustang down pit road. He's going to get some service. And here comes Little Snack now. Little Snack bringing his Ford Mustang. So all these drivers, almost called you HD, falling right back into old habits. He's not here. The Doharian Snowcat is with me in the booth. And like you said, Dohar, these drivers are going to have to make at least one more pit stop under green.
Yeah, if there's anybody who can cut out needing to basically turn it into 2 stops from this point, basically before the 18 or the 11 or 13 hit pit road. I'm sorry. Oh, as we see Jose catching up to J-Mac, who's about to hit the pits. I'm watching Jose. I think Jose is most likely to try and pull the upset, if you will, and undercut on these pit stops. I'll have to see, though. He's got to go about another 24 laps to kind of get in that window, Zane. It's a tough task, but you see the 13 there just going into turn 3 right in front of him. So that's your delta you're racing with right now if you're the 95. You're keeping an eye on that. You got to manage your gaps here and try not to get run over as he lets the 35 Boehner by. But I believe, Big John actually got a speeding penalty.
He did, yes.
A
huge penalty. 31 seconds on pit road for the 17. That's going to hurt him, drop him all the way back to 12th place when he was running in the top 5 there when he went down pit road. But we are watching the 95. We have about 83 laps left here at Martinsville. We want to say thank you for joining us here on twitch.tv/ZaneTheBeardedOne for the FilterTime eSpark series at Martinsville Speedway. Hello to Spider in the chat, to everyone hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. We appreciate you hanging out every week. We appreciate FilterTime coming on board and giving us the ability to do these broadcasts week in, week out. And remember, if you missed anything from the show, these are always going to be posted up on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Zane the Bearded One. Click on the link down in the channel description below. That will take you to the channel. There is a playlist where you can see all the archived races from Season 1 and Season 2 to see everything you missed, to be caught up before we go racing next week. And speaking of next week, Dohar, let's take a look at the big board if we can here. Let me take a look here, see if I can't pull that big board up for you. And it looks like I did not put the big board into this week, but we'll see if we can't do it while we're talking here. A little bit of movie magic.
It's all right. We'll pull up the big board. I'll tell him manually if you pull it up, it'll be like magic.
No, I can do it right now because I'm a professional streamer. In 1 week, on May 10th, we're heading back to Florida. That's right. A week ago, we were at Daytona Beach, Florida. And a week from today, we head back to Homestead, Miami Speedway. In 2 weeks, Dohar, where do we go?
2 weeks after Homestead, we're going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. First time these guys will have ever set foot on that racetrack. And then after Indy, Zane, this might be your favorite one to call. It might be another snooze fest, but we'll see. We got a lot of road course ringers We're taking these bad boys to the Roval.
Wait, the Roval? Because your list said Kentucky. I have Kentucky as that next race, unless that's updated and changed. But the list you gave me was Kentucky. So if it has changed, we'll get that fixed and updated. But I'm actually going to, while we're talking here, because I could just out you while we're in chat. Oh, gosh, you're right. I totally just skipped it. I'm a horrible man. We do go to the Roval. Oh, my gosh. So,
I
yeah.
wasn't going to say anything, but that's
3 weeks
that's why
we go
you
to the
get paid
Roval.
Broadcast, not make the schedule.
Well, no, I looked.
we're
You know what
going to the
happened is I looked at the end of the list and I was like, "Oh, Kentucky, very top of the board." Okay, because Zane can't do math, as I usually have to rely on people to tell me the numbers of how many laps we have left. But yes, we're going to the Roval. Driver's going to be doing a little heel toe, left, right, and that's going to be very interesting in 3 weeks. The Roval is a difficult technical track. When I was a community manager at 704 Games, we used to bring real NASCAR drivers as we watch the 95 of Jose get way out of the race and groove there. He's going to pop up to the outside, and it looks like the 13 of Lucky is back up front as our race leader, as we've been talking about the big board for the next 3 weeks. But that's the interesting thing is the Roval, even the drivers say that is one of the hardest racetracks to get down. You really have to be in your rhythm. You have to understand that track to be fast there. So it will be very interesting to watch these drivers take these cup cars and try to wheel it around Charlotte Motor Speedway at the Roval.
100%. It's going to be interesting to see because none of these guys have done a custom setup race at the Roval. No other league on Xbox goes here as far as custom setups go. The only guys who are going to have some experience are going to be the guys who run an NNR and those boys, because we run there on the presets though, so that's where the difference is going to lie. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. I guarantee you that 13 will be there up at the front, but another guy who loves road courses to death is going to be that 4-car J-Mac, and he's looking at is his best opportunity to maybe punch his ticket and get his first win in the FilterTime eSpark series as we continue watching. Now, Lucky Dog about to lap Big John, who I think is running in E8, if I'm not mistaken. He should be actually about to go 2 laps down after incurring a speeding penalty on that last round of pit stops. Everybody's made their pit stops, so we got one more round for everybody. Doesn't matter. I believe Lucky Dog is first, and second should still be Element, and I think Tom might actually be running in third there, Zane, but I'll try to let you know if that is true or not.
Yeah, as we just watched Lucky Dog put Big John a lap down. Big John is running in the 8th position. He had trouble on pit road, suffering for it now as that 13 makes that Ford Mustang look slow as they dive into the corner. And Dohart, you know, I will say this. There's been moments of J-Mac where he's looked strong, he's looked competitive. I think a lot of the times he's very timid, and then it just takes so long for him to get those motor cools revved up again, if you're an anime fan, for Akira, to get running, you know, competitively in a long race like that. There's been certain races where I've told him, like, bro, I need you to go out there and dominate, and then he's up front all night long. But usually he's a strategist like you. He likes to figure out that long run car, be able to work his way through traffic and be up there at the end. But lately, the past couple of weeks, he's had a rough time in that 4 machine for that Ford Mustang. But, you know, let's talk about some of your drivers this season. So this year, you guys did a draft. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we wanted to go into the season and kind of really go in with the team atmosphere again. We're all about trying to put everybody in the best situation that they can be in for each other and themselves, the best environment they can be in to basically thrive and continue to improve. We're all about watching everybody improve, not just, you know, put on good racing. We want to see growth out of these guys as they go throughout the course of the season. And a lot of guys, you know, eventually graduate from Cup or from Xfinity and Truck even. So that's what we're all about. But we held a draft. Kind of old school way. We put everybody, all the team owners in there.
Oh, Freddie, your driver door slams the 13 there.
Freddie, just give him a little love tap.
Man, I don't interrupt you, but Freddie has been racing the 13 like he owes him lunch money. Every time that Geico machine gets near that 00, Freddie is just not letting him. He's making him work for it. Is there some beef between the Freddie, Mr. Freddie 2K, or is it just his style of driving where he's always aggressive, trying to stay on the lead lap or battle as much as he can on the track?
No, that's just love between those two. Those guys are they grew up racing in RSR together. Obviously they raced in the Pro League preseason together. Nothing but love between those two. That was more a friendly shot. Like, hey man, you're kicking my butt out there. I'm just gonna give you some. Oh, as we see Big John just absolutely send poor Austin Dillon into the third dimension. Oh, in the 48 and 11. 48.
Oh, they keep it going straight.
Keep it going straight, though. Good job there, guys. I was just about to say that 48 and 11, both guys that graduated from the Xfinity and Truck Division respectfully. So they're getting some of their first Cup action here tonight. This is kind of a way to just kind of throw them to the wolves, if you will. But I tell you what, Zane, I'm just thoroughly impressed seeing this many cars out on the racetrack. Honestly, to only have 3, maybe 4 cautions. There haven't been any cautions since we parked our 88 Chevrolet, so obviously we were the issue. These guys are running out here pretty clean and having a good job at it.
Yeah, these guys are having a great run here tonight. A lot of guys are working it, and I will say the guys have kept it clean. Only 3 cautions on the evening. We've had a few drivers get a little wild, hit the outside wall, able to get it going straight. We just saw the connection between the 48 and the 11 there a little bit, and I think Captain's mom is in the Twitch channel watching the race. So I think the 11's got a fan group out here hanging out, which he's running back in 11th itself right now. And we got about 58, 59 laps to go here at Dohar.
Yeah, we're clicking off the laps rather quickly. Still waiting for these guys to make one more pit stop. I would anticipate in about the next 15 to 20 laps or so. It's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, the pace is just absolutely torrid.
Oh, Big John just giving a bump to the 11. I don't mean to cut you off there, Dohar. We just switched over to the 17, and Big John racing like an angry teenager right now, just shoving and brutally bullying his way through the field as he's got the 52 of in-car racing behind him. And Big John is, I think the patience has just gone out the window and the rule book is just set in the passenger seat.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if there's one driver that doesn't like to ride around for too long, it's that 17 of Big John. We call him Big Nose Big John for a reason, man, and he's laying it to anybody. If a guy's passing him, he's going to hit you in the bumper. If there's a guy who attacks the front half of the turn lane, it is the 17 of Big John. You see him slide those front tires through turns 1 and 2, getting a little high and dicey. He just loves to basically wait to press the brake pedal until the absolute last minute, even if it's at the detriment of whomever is in front of him. He's just always driving at an 11 on the 10 scale and ready to pounce on you or, make his way in front of you by any means necessary.
Yeah, and we're on board riding with that 17 of Big John. He's sitting back in the 8th position. He's actually, which is very interesting, I think maybe one of the last cars on the lead lap or right there at the bubble, because Rocky Top back in 9th is a lap down from him, but Big John is still in 8th. Oh, as he's getting there, from what I can see on his screen, him and Captain getting into it a little bit. Captain may be having some connection issues because he is ghosted out on his screen as we're looking him. Big John, in case you don't know, fans, oh, they touch! They touch!
Yeah, they touch as they go down into turns 1 and 2. Big John laying it to him. I think that 11 car is ghosted for Big John, so he can't. And that's the hard thing, Zane, is you can't tell where the edge of kind of the normal bubble would lie. He's now using them up on the side. Oh, and he gets turned into the outside wall. Now speeds back up. Okay, they're definitely seeing the latency between the 11 and the 17 there. Just some normal connection issues, which we've kind of seen develop lately on the game, but they're able to kind of get separated and not have too much harm and foul. Hopefully the 11 understands why that was happening, because on Big John's screen, he's appearing basically as a ghost car.
Yeah, and so if you don't know, Big John also streams his perspective on Twitch. His Twitch handle is James Holzer, and he lets us watch his perspective so we have a good idea of where the race is on the track, how many laps are left, what position is the leader in during the green flag pit stops, since the game doesn't give us that technology or that information, so we have to use the tools around us, which are drivers like him who let us kind of ride along with his perspective. There's something we've been talking about in our production team most of the into last season, started this season, is trying to find a way to pump in those Twitch streams, but it is a little bit difficult to do while managing everything, so we'll figure it out sooner or later if we can do it, if we will do it, but I do want to be able to show that to the audience because I think it is very interesting to be able to watch their perspective. Last week we had the in-car camera with you, Dohar, where we get to see you in your beautiful home with your cat behind you and your wheel in front of you racing.
Well, as we've been talking, Zane, we're down to 2 cars on the lead lap. 2 cars. Tom, the 43 in 3rd position, having a fantastic run on a normal night in a league race. You'd say that's a great run here in eSpark. He's a lap down, Zane. And I'm trying to find where Element is on the racetrack because I think he could be not too far behind from actually going a lap down themselves. And then we're going to see the true kind of Jeff Burton style domination where he laps the whole field, leads just about every lap. And I think Lucky has done that today, leading just about every lap except for under pit cycle, as we're now under probably 50 to go here. Just Lucky Dog just absolutely putting it to the FilterTime eSpark series, getting ready.
And
to
Element
lap.
is on the front stretch going into 1 right now. He is behind Freddy and that 00 machine. And he's got the 62 of Asylum behind him as well. So right now, that is where Element is. And if Dohar, let's see if we can't find where the 13 is on the track. The 13 is coming off a 3 and 4 right now. So almost they have this track between them. The only way Element has a chance of actually winning this race is for somebody to, I'm not saying to do it, but if somebody takes out the 13, a misslip going into the corners, or the 13 misses his entry on pit road, which we've seen this so far this season, pit road has been the biggest challenge for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, you would have to see either a speeding penalty by the 13, which I don't think is ever going to happen, or you would have to see him miss pit road. The biggest thing that would have to happen would be just lap cars getting into it, and he would have to get collected for anything to change. I just don't see it happening, as I do see the 38 really slowing up now. Lucky Dog only about half a turn now, half a straightaway behind from getting to that 38 and putting him a lap down. You see everybody working by the wounded Austin Dillon machine in the 3. He gets up high, gets out of the way for everybody. Freddie goes low, is going to let the 13 of Lucky Dog by to put him another lap down. They're about to catch 3 pretty strong cars, though, for Lucky. He's about to catch the 62. The 19
and here comes the 38 and Lucky both coming down pit road. The 38 is in front. We're looking up the rear deck lid of the 38 of Element, and there you see him. The cheetah, the lion in the Sahara, hiding in the deep brush. The 13, our race leader of Lucky Dog. He's going to try to put Element a lap down coming off of pit road here. And I want to stay with this battle. This battle's very interesting to watch. I want to see if we can't just keep with them here as they come down pit road. We're still with the 38. We're going to stay with him as he's on pit road right now, getting tires, getting service. When's he going to get off? Let's take a look. He's still waiting. He's still waiting. Still waiting. We're on the front end now, looking off, trying to see if we can see when the 13 comes off of pit road. There goes the 38 coming off the corner now. There's the 13. We see the 13. He's still getting service. They're going to come out at the same time, Dohar. It's going to be a drag race off of pit road.
Drag race off of pit road. You're going to give that advantage to the 13. He's got the bottom side. Oh, as they're making contact.
Oh,
there.
big contact. No one wanted to give an inch.
Big contact. Nobody gave an inch there. 13 was able to get around him, utilize that shifter to full efficiency there. Basically sprint through the gears and get in front of the 38. Put the 38 a lap down to the 13. Try to get you who the leader is as we're in the middle of
right
pits.
now. The 62 of Asylum. But check a look at this. We have about less than 50 laps to go. It's 2:13 of 250 being ran right now. And some of these drivers that have to make the last pit stop, they got to figure something out if they want to stay on this lead lap. And if I'm Element, I'm furious. That 38 machine is now a mobile weapon to get to the bumper of that 13, because they were both leaning and pushing each other like they were 2 billy goats out in the wild.
Yeah, he could be mad all he wants, but at the end of the day, I just don't think he's got enough to get up to the 13 and even get back to the bumper, pending any incidents with lap cars. As you see the 13 get into the 18, it leaves Justin there, kind of step him aside and say no thank you, sir, to the reigning Truck Series champion for the FilterTime eSpark Series. He just runs on right by him as Asylum's no longer the leader. He's not making his pit stop. Ward Burton is now your current race leader.
He is, but we're going to stay with the 38 and the 13. I'm going to interrupt you, Dohar. We're staying with the 13 and the 13 because there goes Word. Word's going to get shot up and out of the way of the track. but we're looking off the front end of the 38 because I want to see if there's retribution to become. That's going to happen here. Will the 38 get back to him? But man, that 13 of Lucky is on rails.
Yeah, he's just absolutely on a monorail right now. There's no
Monorail.
derailing this train.
Monorail. What's your favorite travel service? That's a Simpsons reference in case I'm a little too old for some people.
My goodness, I was about to say, what's going on? Are we breaking out in a song and dance?
Oh,
You're
come
my
on.
kinda-
It's
you're my
Lionel
kinda
Hutz.
guy.
You know there's song and dance involved. Oh,
that-
car spinning. I think that was the 20. That was the 20 of Mike DB, I think, that just spun on that front stretch there. But we are still green here at Martinsville.
Yeah, still green. I believe there's now 33 laps to go, I want to say. I've had to follow along with Boehner's stream now because Big John's keeps lagging for me, so I couldn't tell any lap counts. But Boehner's having a good day.
They're on lap 219 at 250. Big John is now 2 laps down from the leader. So we are coming about 30 to go here, Dohar.
Man, we're ripping it off nicely.
Like
These
a
guys
Band-Aid.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys have done a nice job going the last 175 laps or so caution-free ever since some certain car parked himself. They haven't had any issues out on the racetrack, so they're doing a fantastic job, the remaining competitors here. Doing very well, racing hard, racing clean. As you see the 13 putting the 48 another lap down. There is nobody that is going to be spared from this dominating performance by Lucky Dog, the kid from Brunswick, New Jersey, just putting it to him in the FilterTime eSpark Series. He's about to get 5 in a row, Zane. I don't think anybody's going to stop.
Hey, there's 30 laps left to go. Anything can happen. He could have a horrible incident. Somebody in front of him could check up. Somebody can get in his rear end. So there's still a lot of time left. But, man, he is put on a clinic, Dohart. And I was going to go back real quick. He said since that one car pulled it down pit road and put it back in the hauler, there hasn't been any trouble. That car wouldn't be double numbers, would it? And possibly a Chevrolet Camaro?
Maybe. We'll have to talk to the crew chief on that 88.
They're not wearing a puke green baby tie, as the chat said you were wearing?
No, I don't think so. But sometimes, you got to know when you're a detriment to your fellow competitors, and I knew I was that tonight. So no shame in that. I got to join in the broadcast booth, do something I love, and call broadcast. But, I mean, I'll tell you what, Lucky's kind of stunk up the show. There's not really much to talk about aside from an occasional bump and run we might see from a lap car or two. Dan's just kind of putting it on him, and we just kind of get to watch and just kind of see greatness as it's happening.
I'm on my 3rd Martinsville hot dog right now. I just sat back. I'm waiting on the nachos to show up, which I asked for that in my... You said, what do you need for the race tonight? And I was like, nachos and a whole bunch of hot dogs. I've yet to get my Martinsville nachos, but the hot dogs have been magnifique, beautiful, and delicious. I'm sad HD wasn't here to try. He's probably, you know what? I think HD's actually probably in the crowd just eating hot dogs, watching the race, and didn't want to join us because it would have distracted him. But I want to go back a little bit here because this is a great time just for people to get to know what you do in the industry and for the community. You're also a commentator. You call the FilterTime Truck Series?
Yeah. Actually I do. Oh, it's 52. N car is just pinned against the outside wall.
And we're still
Something
green.
happened there. Yeah, still green on the racetrack. It's going to take 2 or 3 cars getting together, and even then it might not because, like I said, I had to put that thing out of its misery after a car flipped onto my hood, and it still didn't bring out a caution. So the flagman kind of took the flags away there after about lap 30 or so, as we see N-Car.
N-Car still having issues. He is rolling on that outside wall. We kind of just saw him there a little bit. Let's see if we can't get one of the cameras to pick him up. There he is on our backstretch camera. He's now trying to pull it down to the inside for safer barrier. And he is slow, Dohar. He may be out of gas. There may be something wrong with that 52.
I was going to say he either ran out of gas, could have been a controller issue, but the way, or blown tire, it could also be the likely culprit here. As he's had to nurse this bad boy on a pit road, you see all the damage there to that 52 Winn-Dixie Ford Mustang. Having to limp it on a pit road, able to get in there, get some service, get back out there and finish out these remaining 20 or so laps for him, as we see Lucky Dog going back around Freddie in the 00, now putting the 18 of Leafs Justin another lap down as Big John behind them peaking.
And I do want to say real quick, you know, if you're just joining us, we are here at the FilterTime eSpark Series from Martinsville Speedway in Ridgeway, Virginia, just south of Martinsville, the home of the hot dogs. It's Zane the Bearded One, No HD Motorsports. We're joined by the administrator, owner, and driver for the Junior Motorsports Esports team and the Doharian racing team here for the FilterTime eSpark Series. Tyler Dohar is our guest commentator. His car was a detriment to the other drivers, so he pulled it off and decided to put on a puke green baby tie and join me in the broadcast booth as we're watching Lucky Dog here tonight put on a clinic. But before I rudely interrupted you to do a little bit of sponsorship plug and a little plug of where we're at tonight, I asked you about calling races. You call the Truck Series, and Saturdays you also call Outlaw Nation.
Yeah. So it's one thing I love to do is I love to give back to the community in any way, shape, or form that I can. So the best way I could do that is calling those Truck Series races with my buddy J-Mac, getting those guys some exposure on a high platform, getting them kind of ready and seeing if they can shine under the lights when we pull them up to Xfinity, where Titan and Harvick Fan broadcast, and then obviously up to here where you and HD do the best job in the business. But over on Outlaw side, Smoke Fan approached me, and I get to do that with Matt, of course, Rowdy Matt. So that's really nice to be able to kind of do a little Xbox invasion over on the PlayStation side and call some of the greatest action you'll see over on that side of the racing consoles. It's really awesome to see. I also love to do any videos, podcasts, of course, with Red 4424, talking about NASCAR, anything, as well as doing any informational videos, trying to help guys get started in the journey. We did a little video series, how to get ready for the Pro League. A lot of guys love that. So I love to give back to the community in any way I can. Also got to give a plug, of course, to our biggest league partner, No Name Racing and NNR. Their truck's currently just about wrapping up at Watkins Glen. Those guys, Coe, Stout Whiskey, Repeat. And,
we can't forget Repeat. Repeat's the man.
Yeah, they're all fantastic guys. We love that they have kind of embraced us in a brotherhood in a fraternity of racing and online racing over on the Xbox side. For many years, there was just a lot of unwarranted animosity between presets and custom racing, and we said, why not support each other? Why not make each and every driver that we have in our series better by making them more well-rounded on the preset side, on the custom side, helping each other out in any way we can. A lot of these guys actually, Zane, they've started iRacing together.
I noticed you got during this
play Madden. We play Madden together.
And 2K, like
2K.
like
they're playing golf together. They play PGA Golf Club.
Rangers isn't here tonight, but me and Rangers kind of secretly started that because me and him were talking golf one night, and I was like, man, I would really like it if we just all got together and played some golf one night, and he ran with it, which I think is great. And I hear him and J-Mac are brilliant at it. If you didn't know, Rangers, Kerr is like a golf pro practically. His dad is like a genius at golf. Like he's the Amish Tiger Woods in my opinion. And then it's just kind of crazy to see it. And you talked about something as well, that fraternity of brotherhood, as we got about 10 laps to go here at Martinsville. But that fraternity, it's really great to see the growth. Remember, we used to have conversations where I said, I've always wanted to kill the toxicity and grow the community and have everyone love one another. And chat, if you love what you're seeing, you love your brothers and your sisters in racing, throw some hearts in chat, because that's what it's about, is supporting one another, putting on great races, and having great opportunities to race. You guys have gone to iRacing and now starting to race in the simulation world of iRacing. And it's been a really big learning experience for a lot of you guys, because I know some of you guys are leaning on Tedeschi and Track Bar, who have been doing it for years, to get an understanding of how to be competitive. So it's just great to see the growth of the sport and the community from console to PC to other games. And it's really nice. It brings a tear to my bearded eye.
Well, we love doing it, Zane, and that's the biggest thing, is we don't want to just be a league where everybody shows up, does their business for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then goes home. We want to be a brotherhood, a fraternity. We want everybody to love one another, and even guys, that aren't in the Cup Series, guys in the Xfinity and Truck Series are always watching, always playing other games with us, trying to get involved, and hang out with us, and we love that. That's what we're all about here, is anybody who buys into what we're selling, the culture we're trying to provide, that's what we can give back, and that's what we love as we expand this FilterTime family, we call it, ready to do some recruiting for the Xfinity Series, which just wrapped up their first season. Shout out to Scott Hall for life in that 36 car, who was your champion in the Xfinity, the first one. So, getting ready to kind of expand the family with the second season of Xfinity. We're going to be really doing a tryout here. We're going to try to get 60 guys out there to do a tryout for the Xfinity series. So it's going to be awesome, Zane. But I just love that everybody, it's not just been one person or group of people, it's everybody that's bought in to this
And
mission.
expanding that family, Dohar, we're coming to 3 laps to go here at Martinsville. Lucky right now, coming off of turn 4. 3 laps to go here at Martinsville as the 20 gets down into the apron. He's going to clear the 13 now. He's just got to make it around 8 more times as the 18 leaves Justin's looking to the inside safer barrier. Nowhere to go. Doesn't look like it's going to bring out a caution as the double popsicle sticks are in the air. This time by for that Geico Chevrolet. And all eyes are on Lucky. He can make it 5 in a row if he wins. He's right behind Little Snack in front of him, who's a lap down. Little Loose coming off of turn 2. He dives it into turn 3. 4.5 more corners to go, and he could be a 5-time winner in a row. The highest winning winner so far. The white flag is in the air for Lucky Dog. He dives it into turn 1. Oh, wait, I think we missed it. That's the end of the race, actually.
That was the white flag.
That was.
He was so fast. He did the final 2 laps in 1 lap.
No, so check it out. Here's your finishing order: Lucky Dog, Element, Tom Tom, Little Snack, Asylum, Word Burton, J Mac, Big John, Captain, and M1
Rocky Top.
Thank you. Was your top 10, and everyone was a lap down but Lucky Dog. I will say Lucky put on a clinic tonight. I think top 5 was a lap down to everyone else was 2 laps down. We're going to take a quick moment and a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk with our top 3 finishers here at Martinsville.
Hi, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. As busy as I am, I'm all the time forgetting to change my air filters. And that
All right.
I have FilterTime, a box of brand new filters that get shipped right to my front door automatically, reminding me to change them. It's the same price as the store, there's no contract, no fees, and shipping is always free. So give yourself one less thing to worry about and go to FilterTime.com today.
Yep. And we're back here at Martinsville Speedway after 250 laps, 131 miles at the paperclip, and it was an adventure and some hot action, but man, it was a one-man show. We're going to get a chance to talk with our top 3 finishers if we can here. We're waiting on finisher number 3. Let's see if he ever gets here as we just do. Chet, what did you think of the race? It was intense. Who would have thought Lucky would have put on a clinic like that and just walked away with it? He in just dominant fashion, like. So, Dohar, we're going to back it up a little bit as we wait for someone to get down the TomTom, because TomTom was our 3rd place finishing car. But we saw Lucky just, a couple months ago dominate at Martinsville, right? We really thought it was going to be him and Track Bar battling for a championship, but Lucky came out on top. And here we are now again at Martinsville, and Lucky walks away with it and laps the entire field to put himself as the highest rated winner in eSpark history at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, daytime, nighttime, it don't matter. He put on a clinic nighttime last time we were here, daytime this time, same result. Doesn't matter. He got to lap the field this time and just do it in dominating performance as they went about those final 200 laps. Green flag. It was fantastic job for those guys. It's a victory obviously for Lucky Dog, but a victory for the series as a whole to go green at such a short track, with high tempers and high action, high octane, to go that long without a caution. But I think it's time we interview Mr. Tom Flitty. He got a pre-race interview and a post-race interview.
I know. I'm running to his car right now. I'm here with Mr. Tom Flitty in the 43. Tom, man, you came out with the top 3. You were, in our pre-race interview. I said good luck to you. Hope you have a podium finish. So we'll talk after the race. Walk us through that race. It seems like it was a handful out there and just kind of hard to run down that 13.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think you gave me a little bit of good luck there talking to you earlier. Good to talk to you again here. Hopefully it was an entertaining race overall. But, yeah, man, it was not easy. I don't know what it looked like from up there, but, man, I'm on a controller and I am all cramped up. My hands are they're beat right up. But you know, I just couldn't get it done. Even on the short run, I thought I had a pretty good short run car, and you know, I had to be perfect just to stay with him. You know, one time on a restart, I was kind of able to stay on his outside through 1 and 2, but he was just so fast. And on the long run, obviously, he had everybody beat. So, all in all, it was a good day. Not too disappointed with the third place. Would have liked to get second there, but hopefully next time we come out here, we can contend for a win again and actually get it done and have a different winner here in the series this season.
Well, Tom, who do you want to thank for this third place finish here tonight at Martinsville?
Well, definitely, man. You and I wish HD was here with you, you know, to kind of give you a break talking. I'm sure it was, you know, definitely a lot to talk about there. Definitely want to thank you guys for putting on a good show every single week, and Dohar as well, because you know, without you guys, we wouldn't have something like this to do with all this, you know, with all this stuff going on with the pandemic. So definitely thank you guys, and you know, thanks to my team for kind of helping me out there and working with me on the track. And, you know, hopefully next week we can do it again and have another strong run.
Well, that was your third place finisher, Tom. Thank you so much for your time. Go celebrate with your team on this third place finish. And now, Dohar, I think you're down there with my pick, my dark horse to win, Element Zero. I think you're with him. He quite didn't get me the win, but what's he got to say?
Yeah, I am live here with Element Zero. I took off my clip-on tie, and now I'm just going to wear my fire suit, embarrassingly.
I watched you run. It was kind of hilarious. You look like Superman.
I got down here. I'm with Element Zero, man. It must have been something in the water. I must have known who to pick for pre-race interviews because we get to interview him twice. The quiet man from Michigan, Element. You were out there running a hell of a race, if I do say so myself. But came up one spot short today. What do you think you needed to get the victory here tonight?
Needed a better car. I was fighting it hard the last laps. It was super tight, but that's how I wanted to set up. I couldn't quite figure out back end swinging out on it, so I loaded the bed with bias, and luckily I was just able to keep my nose clean and just not run into anybody. So pretty solid.
Yeah, I was going to say you had an absolutely clean race. While out there on track, we had those first couple bits of cautions. Did that kind of maybe change the game plan for you going into the race when we had quite a 3 cautions there to kind of kick off the start? Did that long run to the end play into your cards and solidify that second place finish, or were you expecting some more yellows to kind of break up the action?
I've thought more cautions happened. Glad it went because I knew my car was better. Even though I was super tight in, cut the exit good, and that's where I was killing a lot of people was center off, and I'm glad it's because even though I was fighting the car at the very end of a run, I was still able to ground through the mid and still be able to keep pace after I've made.
Yeah, I've got you there, man. Well, you did a fantastic job. Congratulations on another podium finish for you. Solid points day. Not going to make up too much ground because Tom finished P2 and obviously Bolt winning again. But still a fantastic finish nonetheless. Element, congratulations there. And is there anybody you'd like to thank before we tune it over to the winner?
I would just like to thank everybody that, in all the leagues that I've made a lot of friends and stuff, come a long way. So definitely shout out, especially being the first league that I ran, what I like to call my.
Absolutely, Element. Well, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you having here. We're glad to have you around this season and bring you by. We're really excited to see how the rest of the season can go for you. But Zane, it's time to tune it over to you, brother. Let's get big winner in here.
I am down here in victory lane. The confetti is flying. The non-alcoholic booze or Sprite, I can't tell what this is. I think it may be Sprite, is a falling from the sky. And Lucky Dog, you're a 5-time winner in a row, the most winningest driver in eSpark history at this moment. How you feeling?
Wow. I'm feeling great, man. I can't even put it to words. That race was, wow, that was crazy. I was pretty dumb that race, speeding into the pits there. um, so yeah, I don't know if you guys knew, but that first green flag stop there, I braked too late and sped into the pits. And I was pretty mad at myself. But I told myself, don't put yourself down. It's only slowing you down. If you keep putting yourself down, it's just gonna make things worse for you. So I just kept looking forward and just kept digging, and kept moving away. And then had a little tangle with Tom Tom, which is all my fault. And then he apologized because he said I didn't mean to do anything there. So we had that sorted. And then we passed Element there because he got distracted by the Doc and Stout incident. Got him on the inside, and then we put him another lap down, which was really crazy. So we almost put the whole field 2 down if we didn't have the speeding penalty. I mean, the car was just really good. I mean, wow, car was really good. That's all I got to say.
You were on rails tonight, that's for sure. You did have a couple of close incidents with cars in front of you. There was a couple of drivers who spun. We saw that moment when you passed Element and had to make it 3 wide, deep down to the apron to get around them to drive away from the 38. But really, is there anyone you want to thank tonight for your 5th win in a row here in the FilterTime eSpark series?
Oh man, you know that answer. I got to thank a lot of people for this. I got to say a massive thank you to Germain Racing, Germain Gaming, and Geico for all the support so far this season. Since we got signed and drafted to race in the season 2 of the Pro League, as many of you guys may know, we scored our first win. Actually, scored Germain Gaming's first win in the NASCAR Heat Pro League and the Watkins Go with the Truck Series, and also my personal first win. So that was a groundbreaking moment for me, and especially for the team. I really wanted it for the team there. So it's still crazy to me, but still looking to pull away and keep chugging along, trying to build it off and try and keep getting more wins and hopefully run for a championship around there. So I got to thank them. Got to thank NASCAR Heat as well for putting on a really great game and helping make the Pro League such a great series. And also got to thank them for allowing I can't speak. I got to thank them for promoting such leagues as eSpark. All that. Thank eSpark, everyone from there, making this the best Xbox League out there for sure. Got to thank everyone for Motorsport Games. I got to thank you, Zane, for streaming these races. I know it's been pretty difficult to have an HD here. Thank you for doing all your work and for the great camera angles, the great editing, all the stuff you do. It's really awesome watching back the races. Got to thank my mom and my dad for being the best 2 parents a kid can ask for. They've been giving me a whole lot of support. Like I said, I'm going to echo it again. Best parents. They've been super supportive of me since day one, ever since I started this whole sim racing esports venture. Man, I love them to death. My whole family too that has been watching this whole thing, my journey. So it's really cool. Got to thank all the fans out there watching the race. Got to thank you guys for supporting eSpark. Got to thank everybody within eSpark, all the Xfinity and truck guys. Shout out to Scott Hall, our most recent Xfinity champion, the underdog. Super proud of him and all the guys who made it there. But and just everyone who's been fans of the Pro League, NASCAR Heat. And also I want to give a little shout out once again. We have Xfinity tryouts coming soon, I think starting this week. So if you are interested and wanting to join the eSpark series, the Xfinity series, and make a name for yourself in that series and potentially in Cup, sign right up, join the Discord, and go from there. So love racing here. Can't believe I managed to do this. It's not going to last though. Just got really lucky today. Just really happy with the performance. And I know that was a long thank you. I know some of you guys fell asleep, but no, man, I really appreciate it. Just cannot believe the race we had. Just gotta never give up. Don't let the stuff get in your head and keep digging. I mean, I'm really happy. Just very happy.
Well, Lucky, you go celebrate with your team and your family. Thank you once again for the interview, and congratulations on your 5th win in a row here at Martinsville.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Thank you. Dohar, I've met Lucky's dad. His dad is an awesome dude, but who would have expected the young gun Lucky? HD said it, and I said it all last season. A focused Lucky dog is a deadly Lucky dog. And here he is, still walking away with the points championship. He may be a back-to-back 2-time season champion by the time everything's said and done with at the end of the season.
Yeah, he might be. If there's anybody who could do it, it's definitely him. He's definitely well-rounded himself all throughout. Basically, his journey in eSpark, we basically ever since you guys have been covering the series. He's just kind of put on the performance and has been absolutely blinding out there. And I feel kind of embarrassed that we saw him. And he admitted he had a speeding penalty because I totally didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either. I'm gonna be
Yeah, we
honest.
didn't catch it, and he would have put the whole field 2 laps down at that point. Like, man, dude was absolutely just in his own. He wasn't in his own zip code. He was in his own continent.
I'm gonna say in post tech, you better check for rocket fuel. He may be pulling a Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, there might be jet fuel in that thing, or maybe like truck tires. I don't know. He was just able to keep it so smooth throughout there, all the way through. But you got to give credit where credit is due, man. He just went out there and he put on a show and knocked the lights out of everybody else in the field. Overall, great racing for these guys. Want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you, Zane, for doing this as always. Glad that I got to join you up here.
It was fun.
Want to thank all the drivers in the series who have invested in what we do here. Appreciate you guys so much. Whether you finished first or 31st, you guys are always a big part of this series and what we're creating and building here. Love you guys and appreciate everything you've done and all the sacrifices you've made to invest in this series. Thank you guys. Zane, take it away.
Hey, man, we're going to take a look at the big board here before we head off. The Filter Time big board, the schedule for the next 3 weeks. Well, last week we went to Daytona. This week we're at Martinsville. Next week we head back to Florida, but this time it's Homestead Miami Speedway as the drivers will take on the track. That's going to be May 10th. And then 2 weeks from today, they go to the Brickyard for the first time ever. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Somebody's going to walk away kissing the virtual bricks. Will it be Lucky Dog? We'll have to find out in 2 weeks. And then 3 weeks from today, we head to the Roval because Zane made a mistake on the big board, and I'll admit it. I messed up, but these drivers are going to go some heel toe, left, right, a bus stop and a half, and a nice, beautiful road course. If you've never been to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval is a beautiful track. That will be in 3 weeks on May 24th. But for Tyler Dohar, for the eSpark Series drivers, I've been Zane the Bearded One. To the chat, I love you. Kisses, hugs, belly rubs. We'll see you at the track.